I'm Laura Bennett. These days it's a real challenge if you're not a people person. Physically, our worlds are becoming more crowded, and digitally, of course, we're sharing more of our lives than ever online. But setting personal boundaries is really important. To help us out, psychologist and parenting expert Collett Smart joins us. Hello.
Hi, Laura.
So we know that personal boundaries are really important for our own mental health, but why do we struggle in this area of actually setting them in place?
I think we struggle to have what we're now calling self-compassion. I think we are people pleasers, and we are always trying to measure up or do something that we think we should be doing. And then we feel guilty when we think we should say no. We think, oh, I shouldn't say no. We just keep adding more and more onto our plate. And we just feel as though we can't put something down.
So what are the signs then that we do need to set some personal boundaries in place?
I think particularly there's two areas. I think when we noticing discomfort in ourselves and when we notice resentment. So discomfort, you can ask yourself questions like, why am I feeling uncomfortable when I've been asked this? And it could be because you're pushing yourself beyond your own limits or beyond your own boundaries, or you know your plate is too full and you're just not saying no. Or when we feel resentful, we're feeling like, why does this person keep asking me this? Don't they get it? And actually, sometimes people don't get it because you keep saying yes. Until you give them a boundary, how must they know? They're not mind readers. So we have to actually practice putting boundaries and saying no. You practice saying the word no, or saying it in a kind way.
Yeah, so having some self-awareness of our own situation, but then as someone who asks someone else to do something, also being aware of what you're really asking them to,
yes,
I guess.
Absolutely.
And when we think about not putting boundaries in place, that's a challenge. There's reasons why people don't actually become assertive and say no.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
It comes back to fear. So fear we're not going to measure up, or fear that someone will judge us. We also feel guilty, that it goes to the shoulds. I should be doing this. I should be filling all these things on my list. And we worry that we're going to let people down. It comes down to all this pressure we put on ourselves. And I think recognizing some of those things can be the start to us learning and rehearsing ways of saying no in a kind way.
Yeah.
And actually giving ourselves permission to have downtime and have spaces and gaps where we actually have some time for ourselves.
Yeah, letting go of other people's expectations just a bit.
Yes.
So how do we actually do it then? If you want to keep friendly relationships with friends and family, how do we set those boundaries in place?
I think get somebody to hold you accountable, especially if you know you're a person who can't say no. So get a close friend to help you look at your diary, or tell them first, I'm being asked to do another thing. Help me come up with words that are kind, or an email back to actually say, I can't do this today. Start to rehearse words where you can actually say, I'd love to do that, but unfortunately at the moment I'm busy with such and such. So it's really just preparing yourself beforehand for when that situation, we're confronted with a situation, we actually know how to enter the situation and say, I'm sorry, I can't do it today.
Yeah, setting it up in advance. Well, Collett, thank you for helping us say no. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that is great advice right there. Make sure that you have those words you can use, and perhaps a friend to keep you accountable to make sure you say no when you really want to. You can find more of these segments and advice on our Facebook page, and also find us online as well.